Okay, let's start. You've already the copy, so please listen because there are very important points for you to know about this lesson. Okay, do you see the screen, Gabriel? Force and motion.
Kita po.
Okay. Letter number 4 is a force and motion. And says here in the previous lessons, we described motion of particles based on definition of displacement, velocity, and acceleration. So you are already expert on these quantities. You understand already the concept of these vector quantities, displacement, velocity, and acceleration. Now, we have also defined motion earlier as change in position, change of position. If the object changes its position, it covers the velocity or speed, covers distance or displacement, and the corresponding time. Okay. Now, there is another quantity that is very important in describing motion, and it is the quantity force. Okay? What is the force? Says here, when you pull an object, force is to lock, okay? And pull is hila. So if you push or pull an object or a body, you exert force F on it. Only a force can cause a change in velocity that causes the body to accelerate. So earlier we are discussing these quantities. We are telling change of position, motion, and the quantity that change the position of the object is called force, denoted by capital letter F. So if somebody push or pull the body or object, that is called force, capital letter F. So in this figure, we can establish a simple definition of a force. It is either a force or a pull acting on the body. Why acting on the body? Okay. Okay, if you are the person or an individual want to push or apply a force on this body so that it will change its position, his or her hand must be attached to the object. It must act on the body. Okay? Because if your hand does not act on this body or not attached to this body, you cannot push, you cannot move the object. Therefore, force as a vector quantity, it must be acting on the body. Okay? Acting on the body means that force must be attached to the body. Because If you push to push this body and your hand is not touching this body, you cannot move it. Also pull. If you do not attach your hand in this body, you cannot pull it. So the force, you can call it a force if it is attached to the body. So I hope this is clear for the class. Hindi mo matatawag na force yan pag hindi nakadikit sa object. And force is a vector. Sabi ko kanina, ang vector, it should be drawn, the arrow must be attached to the line or the magnitude. Okay. The other definition of force, it is an interaction that causes an acceleration of the body. And what is the unit of force? Force is expressed in terms of Newton. Paano nangyari yon? Okay. Since force, the equation or the formula for force is mass multiplied by the acceleration, and if this body has a mass of 1 kilogram and it is accelerated the 1 meter per second squared, so substituting the formula F equals ma, 1 kilogram multiplied by 1 meter per second squared is equal to Newton. The unit kilogram meter per second squared is Newton. Doon nakuha yung unit. Okay. The direction of the force is the direction of the acceleration. It is a vector quantity. Thus, the net force on a body is the vector sum of all forces acting on it. So there is the term net force. Di ba pag sa mathematics, if you want to get the net, okay, net amount, you have to add the quantities divided by, there are two amounts, divided by 2. That is the net. Okay. That's the average. I mean, the net amount is the vector sum of all the forces. Therefore, in this figure, there are several forces or other forces acting on this body or object. It is not only the force F. It is not only the push. Because if we are referring to a net force, there are several forces involved. Okay. And what are the other forces involved? Here, we have the weight of the body. Weight is denoted by capital letter W. And it is defined as the force that pulls the body directly towards the Earth, because Earth is the astronomical body. Okay. Now, this force is caused or due to an attraction, okay, and called gravitational attraction. So, earlier we are mentioning G, that is the acceleration due to gravity. Okay. And gravitational attraction is a force, because if you attract a body, there's already a force involved. And this gravitational attraction is that force of attraction made by the Earth on that body. So the force is primarily due to attraction between the Earth and any object nearby. Now, how to draw, how to reflect the weight of the body? There are two situations here. If this body or object is placed in the atmosphere, on the air, and it is released, according to the definition of weight, suppose that pulls the body directly towards the earth, there, directly, vertically downward. So this is the weight. And the earth attracts. So the force of attraction on earth, made by the earth, it is Fe is equal to the weight of the body, W. So this will be the force diagram representing the weight of the body, always pointing at the earth, pointing to the earth, vertically downward. Another situation, if the body or object is placed on top of a plane, say table, the weight is still directed towards the earth. This is the weight W. Now, supposing this object is oriented, this is inclined. Instead of horizontal, nag-incline siya. How to reflect the weight of the body? Still vertically downward. It will not, weight will not go there directly inclined or the other side. It is always vertically downward towards the earth. Okay. I hope you understand the concept of weight. Next force is normal force. It is denoted by capital letter N. Wait, before we proceed further, do you have any question with regards to the concept of weight and force? Class, do you hear me, class? Gabriel, are you there?
Yes po, sir. No questions.
No question, okay? Let's proceed. Pag meron kayong hindi clear, hindi nyo naintindihan, you ask question. Okay, patuloy natin. Normal force. Ang notation niyan is N. Ano bang definition? What is it? Is means that it is the perpendicular force. Perpendicular is the angle is 90 degrees. Okay, and this force is perpendicular to a surface, to the surface, experienced by a body that is pressed against a surface or pressed against another body. So in this definition, to understand the definition, it is suggesting there should be two surfaces or two bodies whose surfaces are pressing against each other. Okay. Yung nakalagay dito, experienced by a body that is pressed against another body. Example, if this is the body and it is placed on top of a plane, say it is a floor or it is a table. Okay. So what is the normal force here? What are the two bodies? The block or this object and the plane or table. So the surfaces are the surface of the body and the surface of the table. Yun ang sinasabi rito. And they are pressing each other. So to identify the normal force, it is perpendicular to the surface. Ayan. They are pressing each other. Surfaces are pressing each other. So this is the correct position of the normal force based on this definition. It is pointing, the normal force is pointing the two surfaces that are pressing each other. Okay. Next is the friction, denoted by small letter F. Anong ibig sabihin ng friction? Okay. It is a force which opposes the relative motion of a body at rest or in motion. So if this is the body and this body is changing its position from this initial point going into the final point here. So the motion is the acceleration is pointing the motion of the object or the body going to the left. And friction opposes that motion. So ito ang friction. It's a force opposing the relative motion of the body. Okay. Now, what causes friction? What is the cause of this friction? How is friction produced? Friction is produced by the interaction of the two surfaces. So in order to create friction, there should be also two surfaces interacting with each other. It is similar to normal force, two surfaces. Now, if this body is moving to the left or to the west, friction is directed to the right, opposite direction. So while this object is moving to the left and the table, for example, or the plane is stationary, you can feel force that oppose that motion. And that force is the interaction of the two surfaces. Now, if the two surfaces are rough, pag magaspang, so you feel more the force that is opposing the motion. So the friction is produced by the rubbing of the two surfaces. That's why the correct location of friction is between the two surfaces of the object and the plane. Dito nakaturo yung friction. Maybe in your previous physics classes, yung friction nilalagay dito sa gitna. Okay? Without asking, bakit dito nilalagay sa gitna? Okay? But if you go to the definition, okay, since friction is produced by the interaction of the two surfaces, the correct location of this friction force is dito, pointing at the two surfaces interacting with each other. It may be placed here or here. This is similar to the construction of the normal force. In the first diagram, yung in the previous classes, maybe you did not ask where is the location of the normal force. Dito nilalagay sa ibabaw ng block. The location is wrong. Okay? Because if you put here on the top of this block or object, nasaan yung dalawang surface? It is already, you cannot understand now, bakit nandito nilagay yung normal force? And in the definition, there should be two surfaces pressing each other. Ayan. Maliwanag. Okay? Any question, class? Okay, wala. So, it's clear. Tension. Tension is denoted by capital letter T. And it's defined as the force exerted by a string, rope, or cable on an object to which it is attached. So, sinasabi ito, if this object is tied by means of a string, rope, or cable, pag minention yung materials, rope, string, or cable, there is a force called tension. And that force is exerted by the material. So, dito siya. This is the rope. Now, to continue, tension force pulls in the direction of the rope. Since force is a vector quantity, tension, it has magnitude and the direction. So, the force now is pointing in the direction of the rope. From the object, the tension is a pull in the direction of the rope. There. Hila. And it is exerted uniformly along its entire length. So, meaning if the tension, magnitude of tension here at the attached to the block is, or object is 10 newtons, at the middle, the tension force is also 10 newtons, and at the top, the tension is also 10 newtons. It is exerted uniformly along the entire length of the rope here. So that's the concept of tension. Pag sinabi ang problem string, so meron kagad tension. That is the tension exerted by the string. So these are the 5 forces that are included in this term net force. Ayan. It is the vector sum of all the forces acting on it. So if we look at the summary, okay, and applying all these 5 forces in as the force diagram, supposing this is the object or the body, okay, it is placed along the floor or on top of a table. Ayan. Now, if somebody post it, there's a push. So F diagram, force diagram of F is this, applied to the right. So if there is a force applied here and directed to the right, the tendency of this body is to move or change its position to the right. Because the direction of the force is the direction of the acceleration. Yan, yung acceleration niya. So what are the other forces? Wait. It is drawn towards the earth, vertical. Okay. Normal force and the perpendicular force pointing the two surfaces pressing each other. Okay. Friction, for F, is pointing the two surfaces rubbing or interacting with each other and oppose the motion of the object because the object or the body is moving to the right. So, to the left yung friction, small f. And if there is string, rope, or cable attached to the body, the force is called tension. It is a pull. So this is the force diagram reflecting the external forces acting on the body. O nakikita nyo dito lahat na forces, they are acting on the body, they are attached the body. So I don't want anybody drawing a force diagram, yung force ay layo dun sa body or the weight. Okay. So it must be drawn, attached or acting on the body so that we can call it a force. Mayroon ba kayong tanong, class? Do you have any question?
Wala.
How about the other members of the class? Do you have any question?
None so far.
Yes, Francis or Tricia? Mayroong tanong?
Wala po, sir.
Okay. How about Christine Sampilo?
Wala din po, sir. Understood po.
Okay, so I hope you understand the concept of the five forces. Pag hindi naintindihan yung mga five forces na yun, you just go back to their definition. Okay. I am telling this class because in previous semesters or previous years or last semester, okay, I am surprised when a force diagram is involved, hindi malaman kung paano i-drawing yung vector, kung paano ilalagay yung force. So that means, okay, it was not clear in the previous physics class. Hindi nagtatanong, kaya lagi kong binabanggit sa inyo sa class if there is any question. Okay. Because if you don't ask and you did not understand the concept, I can easily detect in the assessment pagdating sa quiz. So, because in my class, I want all members of the class to maintindihan talaga ano na ba yung physics na yan. And here in physics, we cannot solve a problem we cannot solve a problem correctly without following a procedure. So I always emphasize, pinaka-importante dyan is procedure. Starting from the understanding the problem, writing the known and unknown data, figure, general formula, then solution. These are the simple steps. That's why I also emphasize always in the activity, in the activities that we are doing in the class. Okay. So in this lesson, I want to stop here in this the concept of the five forces that are mentioned in the net force. So please read the structural materials, and I've also inserted some drawings or figures so that it can be easily understood. Okay. So force and motion will be continued next week. Because na kailan ba ito? Tuesday. On Friday, we will perform the experiment on the next experiment number 2. I would request all members of the class, or remind all members of the class to try your best to attend the experiments. That is the actual application of the theory that we are discussing in the class. Okay. Any question, class? I also forwarded because there was a request in the first session, an example of velocity and acceleration. Inattach ko na ron. So please study that also. Read it. And if you have any question, we'll discuss it. Okay. Okay, I think this is enough for this meeting. Again, please read the concept of the 5 forces because they are very important. We will be using it in the succeeding lessons or in this lesson. Thank you, class. See you in the next meeting. Have a good day. Bye, class.
Salamat.